Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live show. We cannot keep away. We had no punches pulled last night. We had the live discussing the new way on Monday, and Liam Tully had a great idea today. Let's discuss what's going on with Boxer after Ben Shalom's big interview on TalkSport today. So delighted to be joined by Jay's Fight Talk on the A1. I think he is right now, live and direct.
A1,
and Mr. Liam Tully as well. So how are we, boys? First of all.
Tip top, yeah, all good, brother, all good.
Yeah, good as always, boys. Always good.
Yeah, perfect, good stuff, boys. So yeah, let's kick in. Obviously, a bit to discuss around what's going on at Boxer. But Liam, obviously Ben Shalom was on TalkSport. Was he there today or yesterday? I definitely
last
saw
night. The same time we were doing No Punches Pulled, he was live
on while we were live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, what's going on at Boxer then, Liam?
So my interpretation from watching through the interview is he is quite happy to have his marquee names and his marquee talent fighting on these Saudi cards, fighting on these co-pro shows, looking to make a splash in America with Ben Whittaker, which we'll move into in a minute, without really looking like he's going to try and generate anything in the UK for the back end of this year. It sounds like he's going to do 1 or 2 UK shows towards the end of this year. I'd assume Adam Azim will be one, and possibly Lauren Price will be the other, from what I've heard. Yeah. Doesn't look like Tasha's going to fight again this year. So he had a grin like a Cheshire cat. He seemed quite happy that he's got Eubank out in Saudi. He seems more than content that Bakoli and Zhang is going to land on a Riyadh season card as well.
Yes,
but it's fantastic. He's got his fighters these opportunities, but you're a UK promoter. Your license is with the British Boxing Board of Control, and you've not put on a fight in the UK since Bill Smith and Riakporhe, and that was the 15th of June. It's what is? Oh, sorry, no, 3rd of August when he done Oakwell. I correct myself there. What is going on? It's all good giving yourself exposure and getting your fighters out in all these countries, but you're neglecting your core market, which is where you generate your stars. He just doesn't seem to be bothered.
They're not bothered. Ben Shalom, sorry to just butt in there, but for me, Ben Shalom's, he's not a boxing guy. I know he's involved in boxing now, but he's not somebody that's come up through spit and sawdust gyms. He's not bothered about grassroots boxing. He's bothered about himself. Ultimately, he's working for the fighters to get them the biggest paydays. And I think the fact that he's now got direct links to big fights, big paydays, I just don't think he's that bothered about us, the little people, the ones that put bums on seats that actually, got him to the stage that he was able to negotiate with the Saudis. He's forgetting that because ultimately his bread and butter up until now was, the likes of the Copper Bosch and, York Hall and Manchester and Newcastle. And, they were the kind of shows, putting on these domestic shows, sprinkling in a few, next generational fighters. And it just seems like he's not bothered. You look on the website, there's barely anything up to date on there. And then he goes on last night. I briefly watched the highlights of it. And he's basically said, yeah, got my fighters sorted. All my marquee names will get big paydays. See you on the other side. And he said a lot without saying a lot, if that made any sense. It was a lot of waffle, a lot of fluff.
Just quickly, boys, big up Jam's Boxing Chat who's joined us. Big up yourself, Jam. Obviously, massive congrats to Liam on the launch of his show on Steve Talks Boxing X. Absolutely. Big up Steve. Big up Liam. That should be a great success debuting next week. So look out for that.
Yep. First episode will be out next Wednesday night, recording on the Tuesday. It'll be with you Wednesday lunchtime is the plan, people. So yeah, keep an eye out on X. But yeah, getting back to Boxer, so 2 of the shows I've been to this year are Boxer shows. I went to Buatsi Aziz because I was interested in seeing that South London grudge match, and Wembley Arena isn't too far from me, so I was happy to go and see that. And their production value is how they produce fights. Everything they do in an arena on a fight is good. He had 11,000 in there that night, give or take. The arena was bouncing, the tickets have been priced well, and they put on a good show. I was also at Palace for Bill Smith and Riakporhe. Didn't help without outdoor show with the weather, but they still had a fantastic production. Didn't get as many bums on seats, but there's clearly a demand there. And Ben Shalom seems to be enjoying the stadium fights. He's done Bill Smith twice now in Bournemouth and in London.
Yeah,
he said he had a plan for Bill Smith. Okay, don't get me wrong, fighters taking a unification fight in America, that happens. We're not saying that's an issue.
Yeah, we're not saying don't box abroad.
It seems to be that after Willem Smith fights on this Golden Boy Riyadh season card in November, it's then going to be Opetaya, and that's definitely going to be a Saudi card because Opetaya is, he's cleaning Uncle Turkey's feet at the moment.
Oh, he loves Opetaya. Turkey does. Yeah, he's one of his favorites. There's no way that he's going to do it. So yeah, what like ultimately with as you both covered there with Boxer, Ben Shalom looks to be absolutely, he's like a Cheshire cat on these TalkSport shows, and he's getting his pockets fleeced. He's finally at the dinner table with Uncle Eddie and Uncle Frank and all the rest of it. He's there. He's not quite there. His name's not on the poster yet, I don't think, but he's getting there. Bakoli's going to get Zhang. I think that was pretty much confirmed earlier. Ben Shalom said as well. But realistically, like you've just said there, Liam, what's going on in the UK? Ben Whittaker's going to go, and I love Ben Whittaker, and not disrespecting Ben Whittaker at all, but he's going to go and fight in front of 500 to 1,000 people in the arse end of nowhere in the States in December, which is a completely pointless exercise when you could put him on in a decent arena that would probably do 5 or 6
in the Midlands. Excuse
me.
Put
him in Wolverhampton.
Put him on in Wolverhampton. Put him on in Birmingham. There's plenty of other Midlands fighters. You could fill a card. You could put on some good shows. Put him in against a decent name. Build up his profile. What he's trying to do is get him in front of a different type of audience, hoping that then Turkey will say, I tell you what, let's put him in with, I don't know, Benavidez or some. Do you know what I mean? I think he's looking to jump steps, is Ben. I think he was the upstart, wasn't he? That he was the new promoter, and Eddie and sort of Frank not dismissed him, but they didn't really interact with him. And now he's sort of not on a level par with them, but he's, like you said, he's sat at the other end of the table.
He's had some big wins, Jay, hasn't he? He's had Bakoli, Tyler Denny, Billum Smith's been, he's had some good wins. What do we think of Jam's question there? One of you can pick that up.
He didn't say, well, I just watched it not that long ago. He didn't really say that, did he? What he said was that he's good and he needed a longer camp. He was on a family holiday, needed a longer camp. Opetaya's that good that he needs a full 10 to 12 week camp. He is good, but on paper, the only name on his record is Breedis. That's what I took from it. I didn't really think that he was saying Opetaya was overrated. What I think he was saying was his skill set isn't matched by his record, his resume.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong from that. I don't know.
I'm exactly.
Billum's a humble guy, isn't he? To be fair, like he's not.
Yeah, he doesn't throw shade. He's not. There was barely any shit talking with him in Reactport, and that was, billed as a grudge match as such. He's a gentleman, isn't he? That's his persona, and I don't think it's a facade. I think he is a genuine nice guy. And from what I took from that he was just saying, I need to be properly prepared to face the best in my division.
Yeah, definitely.
He's respecting the number one fighter in the division. He's not saying he doesn't rate him or diminish his achievements. He's saying, if I want to give myself the best chance against the kingpin of this division, I need 12 weeks with McGuigan. I don't need to come off an all-inclusive holiday, bit too much weight, and have to crash the weight down. He's respecting it, but of course, in this day and age,
he's been a proper champion. He's been a proper champion. He's not getting bullied into it. He's not getting badgered into it. He's saying, listen, I will take the fight, but I will take the fight knowing that I'm ready. He's going to give himself every opportunity to win the fight. And that's what you have to do. To have longevity in this game, right? You can take short notice fights and get wins. But if you want longevity as a champion, which he is an established champion now, you can't jump in against the number one in the division underprepared. And he reckons 6 to 7 weeks would be underprepared. You have to respect him, right? Because he has put himself out there.
He's right as well. If Billum loses to Opetaya, he's not getting another shot. He's not a big name. He's not a draw.
What I meant from that, though, is he's put himself out there. We understand it, but there are people out there that will only see the fact that he declined the fight then, so he's scared. He's running from him, and now he's trying to dismiss him as not good enough. That's not the case. If anything, he deserves more respect for respecting Opetaya as the best in his division and wanting to give himself every opportunity to win that fight. I've got nothing but respect for him for that.
Yeah,
mate, it's clickbait. It's another again, people trying to clickbait this day and age. That's all that is. Someone trying to create something that's not there.
Jam said he's overlooking Liam Cameron, Ben Whittaker. He most definitely is. I think it's a bit disrespectful to the Cannonball, to be honest, when they're banging on about Ben Whittaker's doing this in December, and we're doing this, that, and the other. But like Liam Cameron's going to come, and he's going to be in Ben Whittaker's face all night in Riyadh on October the 12th. He really is.
We might see Liam Cameron headlining in America at some stage.
That's it. Yeah.
We might see Ben fighting at the bloody Sheffield or Doncaster Dome, trying to rebuild his profile while Liam's in Vegas.
Yeah. Riyadh season Doncaster.
You know that.
Let's get this right quickly. Everything we've heard about next steps from Whittaker, nothing as of yet has come from Ben Whittaker. It's all coming
Never
from
said
Shalom.
a word. He's not said a word.
Ben is, as far as we know,
I agree with that.
But what Shalom's doing at the moment, completely disrespectful. But Ben,
but it shows you, the guy's, he's not a boxing guy, is he? He's a marketing guy or whatever he is that's got backed and come into boxing.
My point I was going to make a minute ago, before he jumped in, or Turkey decided to throw him a piece of the cash, he was talking about going to Wolverhampton Civic Hall and doing a show with Ben Whittaker and Tyler Denny.
Yeah,
and that was
That's what he should be doing.
Tyler on Wembley, no problem with that. Ben in Saudi, fine. But then bring Ben back home, carry on building his profile.
Yeah.
Or fight in a parking lot in America. Like, what is that?
Just to move it away from the Ben Whittaker thing for a second, guys. Jam said I'd love to look at the Vitality. Yeah, that would be. I think you're on about CBS and Zerdo. Are you to the potential match? Yeah, I hope it would be great if it was in the UK, but I believe that would be a Riyadh thing, to be honest with you. Big up DJ Pat. Thanks for joining us again, sir. Spot on. I'm assuming he's talking about your assessment of CBS earlier, Jay, when you say he want to prepare himself to be the best before the Jai Apataya fight. Absolutely bang on the money, as always, from Jay's Fight Talk. I've got a lot more respect for Ben after seeing him on Sky Sports News saying Liam's the toughest fight in my career. Yeah, Ben Whittaker, for all the flash and stuff like that, when you actually get a mic in his face, he's a normal guy.
I've had an interaction with him, and honestly, it couldn't have been nicer. He spent a long time. In fact, I think I made an excuse to go. We were just talking boxing, and he wasn't. He's a nice guy. It's an act. It's an act, but it sells.
It is. Yeah, he's gone viral. He's getting his viral moments. I want to come on to you boys quickly before we pack it up about Boxer. What's the state of play with Boxer in the UK? What's going on? Because obviously all the stars are out in Saudi, or Billum Smith's obviously out, but the Jonas, I think, is the other one. Savannah Marshall's doing MMA or whatever.
Up soon.
What's going on with Sky Sports and Boxer's coverage within the UK? Are they just gonna use the Saudi cards now and just be happy enough with that? Do you think Ben Shalom's gonna try and actually start putting on UK? I believe there's no UK fights on the Boxer schedule right now. Is that right?
Nothing scheduled UK for Boxer, no.
Which is baffling. You're one of the top 3 promotional companies in the country, and Frank and Eddie are the top 2 in the world right now with what they're doing with Turkey. They're the biggest powerhouses in Boxer. They've got some great fighters, lots of good world champions and upcoming talent. Why don't they have a fight scheduled in the UK?
I don't think they're bothered. I think the Uncle Turkey TV deal will come to fruition within the next 3 to 6 months. And I think part of that will be they'll take control of Boxer. I think Ben will become a figurehead for Boxer, but I think they'll get swallowed up as part of this Boxer League or Super League or whatever. I think Ben sees an opportunity for himself and his fighters to get big paydays, and I think Uncle Turkey he'll buy them out. I think they'll get bought out and they'll just get consolidated. I think Boxer brand will remain, but I do think that we will see them get taken over at some point by the Saudi money. It's just the way he's dropped the British market within the space of 4 months is baffling. And something is going on in the background for him not to have anything scheduled, nothing at all in the lead up to Christmas, no big announcements for the first quarter of 2025. It's not normal.
What do you think of that? Liam, GBM and DAZN are going to be running the British scene from here on out. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me. And just going back on Jay's point, if we're sitting here in December when we're wrapping up the year and we haven't seen a Boxer show in the UK with one of Lawrence Okoli, Adam Azim, Lauren Price on it, then yeah, they're gone. They're not in the British market for me anymore. Realistically, you can make 2 cards there. You can put a Coley and Azim on 1 card, and then Lauren Price will sell in Wales. We know she'll do 6,000-7,000 in Wales.
Yeah. Massive crowd against who did she beat for the World Championship?
Jessica McCaskill.
Jessica McCaskill, yeah, good shout. It was a great crowd.
If we see one of them 2 scenarios, okay, that he's half in. If we don't see either of them, for me, I'm with Jay. They'll be swallowed up. We'll get the top rank. We'll get the top rank content from America, and the rest will be Ben saying he's promoting shows in Saudi when really he's just lucky to be at the table.
Something's amiss for me, and I can't quite put my finger on it. And I'm probably being a little bit extreme, but you know, I'm in business myself. I've done takeovers, and I've seen the way it goes, and I've you know, bought businesses and stuff, and you see that when businesses know that they're getting taken over, they slow down on the marketing, and you know, they're proactively, they're not asked.
Definitely. Yeah, it couldn't be more glaringly obvious, could it?
It does, but I hope that I'm wrong. I mean, I'm the eternal pessimist, and I look for the negatives in certain situations, but this screams of takeover for me. And Ben Shalom has done nothing but add fuel to that fire with, you know, he had an opportunity yesterday to say, look, listen, I'm concentrating on my big stars at the moment. I've got some massive fights, some massive paydays. It's going to increase the brand of boxer. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use that momentum to come back home, do some big shows. I'm going to do Lauren Price in Wales. I'm going to do Lawrence Coley's first defence in London. Even if he hadn't even got that arranged, if he's anything of a salesman, he would have said something along those lines, just to give some answers to some of these questions. Unless he's, like I say, just don't give a shit anymore. He's going to get through the next 6 months, and then we will see an announcement late December, early January. I really hope I'm wrong, because this will be absolutely devastating for up and coming British boxers. It's another avenue that's been had a door firmly slammed shut in the face.
Yeah, mate, I completely agree with you. One thing that's come to me whilst we're sitting here is obviously Ben is this figurehead of boxer who are the promotional company tied to Sky Sports in a moment. What are Sky Sports saying to boxer? I mean, Sky still pushed out there.
Sky are happy as Larry with these Saudi pay-per-views. All Sky care about is pay-per-views. They could not care less.
So has Sky also said then to Boxer and Ben, look, you've got 17, 18 months left on your contracts, and then we're going to phase out into top rank American shows and these big Saudi pay-per-views. Yeah. That's already been planted.
No production cost for Sky or whatever. It's just we'll take the feed off somebody else. We'll put it on our platform. And we'll take the pay-per-view buys. I agree with Pat here, by the way. I think if Sandy Ryan beats Michaela Meyer, that's fairly soon, I think, isn't it? You could see a Ryan versus Price. Yeah, Sky could probably get behind that. Dan, thanks for joining us again, mate. Really appreciate that. And last night also. Guys, if Fury and AJ retire soon, this is for Jay's Fight Talk, and Turkey decides to go away, what the hell will Boxer do then? Tasha Jonas will probably retire now. The Mayer rematch is gone.
I mean, there's not a right lot they can do. That's why Ben should be putting on these, you know, they should be putting shows on to get these up-and-coming prospects through. Not just Boxer, but Matchroom. Frank Warren, I'll give him his due. He does put a lot of sort of domestic shows on. I think he puts more domestic shows on than any of the other promoters. But
Frank's standing out this year for the domestic shows. His domestic shows have been much better.
They've been the quality has dramatically improved. For me, you know, people are too hot up on the big names, the sexy names. I'm a massive boxing fan, so I'll watch. You know, I'd watch 2 tramps fight over a bag of chips. So for me, I'm not worried about the big names leaving. I've seen this. I'm old enough to be my co-host's father. I'm not. I don't believe. But what I'm getting,
DNA test required.
I have seen some of the biggest stars in boxing leave, and everybody worry about what's next. And there's always a next one to come through. It's just, are they going to get the opportunities to come through to their home market? You know, we don't want these big promotional outfits coming through, making great waves and then just selling up. It's great for their business model, but it's not good for grassroots boxing.
Yeah, no, definitely not. In Cardiff, Pat, that would be huge. Yeah, it really would be. Definitely. She gets a huge following. this pricing card. If Dan says problem is Boxer don't promote their fighters to spread to the wider audience. Exactly. Boxer have the best platform out of them all. Sky Sports News is the propaganda machine that any boxing promoter would die for.
Drop the ball.
And they just don't.
Sorry, just to add one more point. They need more boxing people working within promotional outfits. One thing about Eddie Hearn, he has boxing people working for him, or people that know boxing. Knowing boxing and being a boxing person are two totally separate things. You need people from boxers, maybe ex-fighters, ex-managers, smaller hall promoters, working underneath him to get these shows off the ground. You can't have all the glitz and glamour at the top and not, you know what I mean? Not have the blood, sweat and tears at the bottom. And it's as though Ben has now got through the grind and forgotten about it. What do they say? Don't trample on the heads of people. You'll be kissing their ass on the way back down. Or, don't trample on people on the way up, because you're going to need them on the way down. And I think Ben has sort of got to the top. And if we're right about what we're saying, then he's not doing a good thing. He's not doing anything for anybody but himself. Because ultimately he's lining his own pockets. He takes the wages from Boxer. He's doing it all wrong for me. Give us three a job. We'll run Boxer for you, Ben. We'll put the local shows on.
Yeah, we're not cheap though. Hank Lundy will be a Boxer fighter before you know it.
Mister, I'm in negotiations already. He's got the fight. We're not ready to announce it yet.
Sorry, Pat. Pat said Shalom's pure panic to try and level up to Warren and Hearn, but focus on the UK market for boxing. Yeah, exactly. He's running before he can walk. Pat, he absolutely is. Jamson looking forward to Saturday's card on DAZN. Nothing but equal bouts. Most people probably haven't heard of. Yes, the Friday and Saturday card this week are sneaky good. Actually, they are. To be fair, Jams, definitely they're not the marquee names, but they should be decent. Big up Jab at Boxing. Thanks for coming to join us, sir. As always, top man. Jam saying evening Jabs. We got Pat saying about Turkey buying Boxer. My take, then he gets PBC at the same time and place them on DAZN. Warren is buzzing also about getting onto DAZN. Yeah, Warren to DAZN's been rumored for he keeps squashing it, but that to me stinks. Turkey wants them all, like you say. It's a monopoly thing. He wants them all on the one network. It's all easier to deal with. He doesn't have to distribute the feed to 1,600. On this subject, though, Turkey said he's giving out the Golden Boy card for free earlier. I don't know if you saw that. Ben doesn't have a plan, it seems to me, guys. Can't see him being around come 2026. Yeah, to be honest with you,
being around 2025, let alone 26.
Yeah.
It just looks like every one of the cards that they're doing is bar the O2 card for Wardley Clark. That was a good one. Barnsley, wasn't
great. It wasn't great.
And Crystal Palace, Liam, you were there. Were you not at Selhurst Park?
I was at Palace and I was at Wembley Arena. I've done two this year.
Yeah. So how have the attendances been, or the atmosphere? Or
Wembley was good. Wembley Arena was pretty much sold out for Buatsi Aziz, and that was actually a solid undercard. You had Caroline Dubois, you had Adam Azim, you had decent fights on that undercard, and that helped generate the atmosphere in there. Selhurst Park was very much a tribal Crystal Palace pro-react poor crowd, and after 5 or 6 rounds where he wasn't winning the fight and it was obvious that he was going to lose, it became a very uncomfortable, hostile environment, and it wasn't a boxing environment, if that makes sense. So there's potential there. Like, for God's sake, if you can sell out you can do good numbers at the O2 for a British heavyweight title fight, and you can sell out Wembley Arena for a domestic grudge match in Buatsi and Aziz, then you've got the foundations there. But he just doesn't seem to care.
Yeah. The problem is,
he wants that. That's all he wants.
The problem is he has to have none of the stress of the production, none of the stress of worrying about getting his fighters fit and healthy to fight night. He gets 10 times the money and just rocks up on a private jet, sits ringside for, does a few presses for a week, and everybody's happy. I don't think he's bothered. I don't think Ben's in this to be working like Frank in 50 years' time.
No.
Ben's in this to get in and out, make as much money as he can, and go. He's not a boxing man. He can say it as much as he wants. He's not a boxing guy. I've been around boxing 40 years. I've never seen him at a show until he had Boxer.
No, he came out of nowhere, didn't he? Started it with like a 10 grand loan in his bedroom or something. He claims the story.
He's working out of an estate agent. He's working out of an estate agent somewhere.
I agree, Dan, about the inactivity of boxer. You know, you said like Azim, Congo, Vidal, right? Yeah, there's a whole host of them. I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. We tried to come on for 15 minutes tonight, but we'll end up going for 2 hours if we're not careful like we
I've
did.
got to get home, mate. Listen,
right. Jay's got to get home.
Last night,
Yeah,
I cannot do it again tonight, boys.
No, absolutely.
What
I will say, guys, thanks for joining in with the chat as always. Again, we appreciate it. Check out Jay's Fight Talk on X and the YouTube channel, Jay's Fight Talk. Go and subscribe. Liam Tully at Liam_Tully9 on X. Got it right. Obviously, his new show debuting next week over on STBX, Liam's prediction show. So keep an eye out on that. And we will see you on Friday night for the live watch along. It's Sam Noakes against Seglia for the European title. Big up Jam, big up Dan for joining us as well. Big up Pat for joining us. Big up Jab at Boxing as well. I think that's everybody who's in the chat tonight. So thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.
See you later, guys. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.